Federal Judge Robert N. Scalia was quoted as saying, "It's surprising how many otherwise competent attorneys punt at the sentencing hearing." Judge Scalia suggested that attorneys take a page out of the book from their death penalty colleagues and advise, don't wait to think about sentencing advocacy, because 99% of one's federal criminal clients will be facing sentencing, and so start preparing for the case as early as you can. Hello, and thank you for tuning in. This is my new series, the first one, Indicted and Facing Prison, Now What? My name is Marc Blatstein, and in 2006, I too was convicted of a felony and lost my medical license. But to call this a surreal experience was a definite big understatement. And I know all of you who are tuning in know someone or personally going through this experience today. My goal in this series is to provide you with the crucial information you'll need to survive and navigate these times. I'll cover a new topic every day so that you can move forward with knowledge, preparation, and all these two together will help build your confidence. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to call and consider engaging my services at 240-888-7778. But this is your life and your future. So you don't want to waste it, and you definitely don't want to waste time. It doesn't matter if you're a COO, CEO, a physician, a lawyer, a politician, or anyone else. The decisions you make today are going to determine your future. There is and has been a DOJ, HHS, OIG, and OPM white collar task force. And once they have your name, they're on the hunt. In this series, I'm going to go over the do's and don'ts and what ifs. No one can promise you and say that, I know the judge, don't worry. There's no rush to prepare. You've heard that the feds were asking questions, but still you're told there's no rush. Trials, 0.2% win, and then you just go home, but still you have your world shattered. At sentencing, for those who plea or have lost a trial, you're going to be together and what you can do to defend yourself. So I go back to Judge Scalia, where he says, don't wait to think about sentencing advocacy. You need to start this early on. But if you've already reached this point and you don't have time to wait for my future visit videos, give me a call and we can discuss your situation one-on-one. Once again, my number is 240-888-7778. So with a broad brush, a satellite view, the stages are, you may hear that there's rumors that the FBI and the Department of Justice have been asking questions. You may have gotten a target letter or someone showed up at your home. Next comes the indictment. Then you're going to be arraigned. And at arraignment, you're either going to be released on your own recognizance with no money put up. You may have to put up bail or bond. And now you're on pre-trial supervision. So, which means you have a probation officer who's going to making sure that you follow the rules. Follow the rules. Don't get in trouble. Because if you don't want to start creating a bad reputation with your judge before you even get to your pre-sentence interview. Or you can be remanded, which means you go directly to jail. Those who lost a trial or plea, your defense. What you can do is different than what your attorneys can do. The nuances of everything that goes into a federal criminal defense is not just on the legal side, because the judge knows nothing about you. Your attorney knows nothing about you. So it starts with a well-written personal narrative. This is your story or your autobiography or your brand. Wheaties has Breakfast of Champions. Nike has Just Do It. Tesla's got SpaceX. But why do you want to write your personal narrative? Because the Department of Justice has gifted you and printed their story of you. It's called your indictment, where you appear as America's most wanted, and it's likely not that flattering. You're also going to want to have a release plan prepared along with the personal narrative. And this is long before you get to your pre-sentence interview, because your judge and other stakeholders are all going to know your future plans. And in sentencing, your judge may ask you, do you have anything to say? Or they may tell you they don't want to see you back in their courtroom again. And so rather than just doing what I did was just say, I'm sorry, and I don't ever want to come back, they want to see a plan. And while it seems premature, it's not. If you go to trial and win, you go home. If you lose a trial to review, you'll be under either personal recognizance, pretrial supervision, or you're remanded right to prison. The pre-sentence interview and investigation process. Your personal narrative, you need to prepare well written. It'll take a couple months. Your release plan, again, takes time, and an allocution, and that's your conversation with the judge. This is all in addition to what the probation officer wants. And they have a large list of personal identification content and biographical information that they need from you. Then you're going to meet with the probation officer. They write your probation report, and you want to try and see if you can get them to be your advocate. They're overworked and have no time. But by your attorney introducing themselves to your probation officer initially, learning when it's convenient for them to do the interview, hopefully it's going to be at least 3 months from when you were guilty. What's the date that they have to have their final pre-sentence report dictation in, and what other files that the probation officer wants. Getting all your files to your attorney, and then from your attorney to the probation officer about a week before your interview, comprehensive and organized, it may be appreciated because they will then have the time to fill out their probation report worksheet. And then when they meet with you at the interview, they can personally get to know who you are and ask any remaining questions that you may have. At sentencing, your personal narrative and release plan, hopefully by now, is attached to your pre-sentence report and is read by the judge and could affect your sentence. That's because many reasons. For the first is that your probation officer has and is allowed to make your sentence and placement recommendation to the judge before you ever get there. Second is that your judge is going to read your pre-sentence report before you go into court. So they'll probably already have a sentence in mind. If you don't have a personal narrative and release plan woven into and attached to your pre-sentence report, then all the judge is going to read is your pre-sentence report and your indictment. And good luck with that. Allocution is your conversation with the judge, and hopefully you practiced it. Your sentencing options may be prison, halfway house, home confinement, diversion sentencing, or a combination of these previous options. If you violate, once you're on halfway house, home confinement, or diversion sentencing, and if you violate any arbitrary rules, you can go back to prison. And it may not be the prison you came from. It may just be a local county jail, which is going to be horrible. Probation when you're under supervised release. Before you meet your probation officer for supervised release, it's not that they want to profile you, but they want to learn who you are. So they're going to get your file from the Federal Bureau of Prisons where you came. And if your pre-sentence report, which is in this file, does not have a narrative and release plan attached to it, then all they're going to see, again, is America's Most Wanted from your indictment. Remember that you're still under the BOP rules. You're at the mercy of your PO. In other words, you need to do everything that they want you to do. Restitution or not, they're going to want you either to work, volunteer, or if you have to, someone who needs someone who needs cared for medically, to care for a relative. But I don't know that doing nothing is going to work in your favor, especially if you want to try and get off supervised relief early. And again, to reemphasize, if there's no narrative as part of your pre-sentence report, all they're going to read from your Bureau of Prison file is your indictment, and they're going to be ready for someone who's, appears to be a career criminal. And that may not even be you, but you haven't taken the time to draft a well-written narrative. Could take a couple months, reviewed by somebody who knows what to say. And so this is all I'm going to go into in this series, Indicted and Facing Prison Now What? And I'll go through it piece by piece. To engage my services, or if you have concerns answered, give me a call at 240-888-7778. If you cannot wait, call me as soon as you can, and I will personally have a one-on-one call with you. If you call my cell and I don't answer, I return and answer all of my own calls. I don't have an answering service. I don't pick up. Please leave a short voicemail. You can also get all this additional information on my website at pprsus.com, which is going to be P as in Paul, R as in Robert, S as in Sam, US.com, otherwise known as Physician Pre-Sentence Report Service. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in and listen today. I hope you enjoy the series. It will be ongoing for the next 3, 6 to 9 months daily. Again, thank you for tuning in.